Alright, y'all. First thing, there's two areas in the state of Texas that I find arrowheads at. Now, I live in Fort Worth, but about an hour southeast of here is where I'm from. Hour and a half southeast of here is where I'm from. And this is where we find more East Texas type points. A lot of the same types they find in Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama and Georgia. Well, mostly Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. You get over into Georgia, you start finding some of that East Coast stuff, but most of the stuff that I find in that area is going to be stuff like Gary's and, you know, no field grade, crude field grade type stuff. That one don't belong in there. That's a hill country point, but most of these, you know, a lot of Gary's and little Elam type points. This one here is made from some, I believe that's an Edgewood, made from some pink novaculite from the Arkansas area. Of course, you know, we got our bird points that we find in that area. That's just one of my frames there. It's kind of a crude Peter frame. Some more East Texas type points right in here. The top row right there is not East Texas. That's some hill country stuff there, and Frios and Paisanos, Cardinalis and stuff. But there's a Delhi right there. Some Dawson points. Plenty of Gary's. Edgewoods. Expanding base Edgewood right there. It was one of the first artifacts ever found. I got no clue what that thing is. Real strange. I think it was a drill. Navarre County, Texas. A lot of old creek cobble stuff. Made points out of them creek cobbles, and local material was not a great flint source in the East Texas area. She's a little bit better quality frame for my East Texas types. This material right here, it's called Pisky Ridge Chert. It's one little spot in Freestone, Navarre County line. There's an outcropping of this stuff. It's pretty cool material, but extremely difficult to work with. You don't find any points with like deep notches and stuff made out of that. But we got our Natchez River points, and right here, I'm not sure what that was. I thought it was a Marcos, but I'm thinking it's an Edgewood. Some more Pisky Ridge material, little Gary made out of some Pisky Ridge flint or chert. We get our Dawson points, and there's a little Gary drill, I think. A little minor tip damage on it. Well, early triangle. A little bit of damage on the base. Grub that one up. Little whales. Here's a petrified piece. Now this frame right here, this is probably, oh it is, this is my A-frame for my East Texas type points. A lot of Natchez River points. A little geary right there, but these are, it's Natchez River type. Love finding those things. Or another Natchez River. Pretty sure that's a Natchez. Little Delhi. This is one of the first points I ever found. Pretty sure it's Wells. That base is one little nick right there, but that thing is heavily ground with some serious teeth on it. Those little Wells, I found that a few weeks ago. In a little spot. We found a ton of Wells points that day. I actually made a video that day of that hunt. I'll leave the link in the description below right there where y'all can check that out. That was a really good day. It was actually last time I got to hit the creek, I found that guy. Some more Wells, heavily ground base. This point right here, good buddy Mark Adams gave me that. That was a Christmas gift he gave me. That guy right there has got one hell of a collection. You see his initials on there, Mark Adams. That is a honker, steeply beveled Wells right there. That's geary right here. That's some heavily sand polished material right there. It's probably the best geary I got. They're usually not that thin or well made. Pretty crude type of point. And Godleys, these are Axtell points. Old timers used to call them penny points. Not sure why. That's some Oglala shirt right there, what that's made off of. I was pretty stoked when I pulled that out. Usually don't find stuff with ears on it like that. Limestone, Navarre County area too much. Another Axtell. Found that grubbing. Probably the best Natchez River point I got right there. Found that at the end of a day. Thought I was gonna get skunked. Last little sift, pulled that guy out. Love that point right there. I'll never forget that hunt. Me and Tater. He was getting on them and I wasn't finding nothing that day. Here's a Carrollton. Those are usually pretty crude points. This one here, I think the best made point ever, but for a Carrollton, it's good. It's pretty nice. There's a Godly, another Edgewood. I was really stoked when I found that guy. I think that's a, I'm not sure if it's a Plainview or a Clovis, but it's definitely paleo. That thing is ground smooth like butter. Pretty excited when I found that. Other points with a ground base. I haven't never been able to figure out what that is. I think it's an early stem. They also call them Wilson points. I found a ton of those back in the day at the Wilson Leonard site. pretty old point, early archaic, 8,000 or 9,000 years old. This was a point that was out of place, far northeast Texas. I think this was I think that's an Adena. I could be wrong, but we don't find Adenas down here, but we don't find Garys with a long base on them neither like that. And some more another godly point. This is an early stem lanceolate right here, heavily ground, transitional, or early archaic point right there. Got a little fossil inclusion in it right there. Thought that was cool. But this boy right here, I was absolutely thrilled when I found that. It's got a little minor foot ding on it, Golondrina type, heavily ground, 10,000-year-old point right there. Kill shot. Pine Belt relic boys, they like them kill shots. But yep, that's my East Texas types right there. Now y'all forgive the styrofoam on this one, or the padding, whatever you want to call it, with no, haven't got the felt on there yet. It's a new frame. My good buddy Kyle made that for me. I love that dude. Anyway, this is some of my drills right here, and these are pretty special to me right here. My good buddy Big Josh Beck, he gave me that, man. Humbled me one day and just gave me that drill right there. I'll treasure that thing forever. It's a killer. My good buddy Mike Boutwell gave me these drills right here. This little Marshall perforator, he gave me that. He also gave me this paddle drill right here, which I absolutely love. Some of the best people I've met in the world, I met in this hobby, arrowhead hunting and digging, sifting. Talking about the salt of the earth, man. Some of the best people I've ever met, I've met in the last 10 years in this arrowhead game. But some of these points don't really belong in here. I just kind of stored them in here until I get this frame in a little better condition. I got to get some felt for it. Little bird drill I found in Navarre County. This is actually a Nolan point made into a drill. The base has got a little bit of damage on it, but it's got that steep bevel on that base. It's definitely a Nolan made into a drill. That's a purd knife, perdinalis. Here in Texas we just call them purds. And it's perdinalis, not pedernales, like you Yankees like to call it. No offense. Little perdinalis knife. Another little bird drill, that come from Barksdale. My good buddy Train's place. Found that last week screen digging. Still don't know what type that is. I'm not sure. Thought it was a Bulverde, but I don't think so. That's just a few of my drills right there. And again, my apologies for the old cheap frame I got these things in, but these are some knives and blades and stuff that I've found last few years. That was a gift from a good buddy. Stormy Lee gave me that. A little round end knife made off a big old flake. This is a little Covington I found down in Edwards County, Texas, pretty close to Del Rio, real close to the border. It's made off a flake too, but you can see where they flaked the flat side. They put got some flaking on that flat side too, and that material is just, it's insane. Another screen dig find, a little round end, a little archaic knife made off a flake. Love those things. This is a Friday blade I found screen digging down in Vanderpool, Texas. Probably one of the most beautiful places in the world. On the Sabinal River. Pretty proud of that too. This here is a preform, I believe was, some might call that a blade, but I'm pretty sure that's a preform. Pretty good size chunk right there. And this was the first blade I ever found right here. That's a Covington. It ain't the thinnest Covingtons by no means, but it was the very first blade that I ever found. About a 6-hour drive down there where we was screen dug for all day long. It was 103 degrees, didn't find nothing on, I mean, the last 5-gallon buckets worth of dirt on the table. This Covington come rolling out. I love that thing. And these are just some little crude little blades I found here and there. Still not sure what that guy is right there. Actually never even cleaned the dirt off of it. It's kind of shameful, isn't it? Some little scrapers and little knives. And, some old crude little blades, some everyday tools that the native people were using. That's some of my blades right there. Y'all check this frame out. This is the craftsmanship on this frame right here is fantastic. A gentleman by the name of John Fish makes these, and I'll actually give y'all his. I'll drop a picture in this video of his with his email and stuff on it if y'all are ever interested in having him make y'all a frame. That box diamond inlay it's gorgeous. I love it. But anyway, this is my B frame right here. I'll show y'all my A frame in just a second. This video is getting kind of long-winded, but let's not drop my frame out here on the patio. That would be disastrous. But yeah, this is my B frame here. Not every point in here was found by me. A hand of them were gifts. A handful of them were gifts from people. These Nolans right here were a gift. But this is my B frame right here. Little killer answer. McLennan, or I'm sorry, Williamson County, Texas. Screen dig found that. My only Montel I've ever found. Little Peter. And the only bell point I've ever found. Digging in the same hole. Bell County, Texas. Some early triangles in there. Love those ETs, man. Those are old points right there. Early archaic. Little Marcus point. A little bit of damage on it, but that too was one of the first points I ever found. This guy right here, it don't look like much. It's just an old Geary, but that is the first point I ever found. And I was addicted to the flint game immediately when I pulled that sucker up. Sifting out at the lake, pulled that guy up. Yeah, this is my B frame. That's the insers and it's a Frio. That's actually the first Frio I ever found. Down in Barksdale. Some Darrell points. ET. Found that screen digging last week. It's the strangest Edwards point I've ever found. It's 3-sided, flat on one side and got a mid-ridge on it. Usually Edwards Edwards bird points are some of the finest bird points you'll ever see, but this one here, man, it's a bona fide cat turd, ain't it? Good friend of my mom's from Tennessee, who's a digger, gave me that. She called it her skunk point from Tennessee. Yeah, but Insers, Perdinalis, there's another little graver point, Paisano, Mordarl, Marcus, but all types in here. There's some Insers, there's another little graver, Inser. But yeah, that's my B frame right there. This is actually the first Perdinalis point I ever found. Screen digging, found this bad boy. Thin as can be. Pretty sure that was a hafted knife. It's got that knife shape to it. I'm thinking that's probably like a bull verde. There was a lot of bull verdes coming out of the ground that day. Same camp we found this Nolan. Y'all look how steep they beveled them bases for wrapping that sinew on there, on them Nolans. They all got that right hand bevel. No matter where you find a Nolan, it's got a bevel on it, on the base. But yep, that's my B frame right there. Now let me show you all my best stuff. Alright y'all, this is my A frame right here. The frame itself is a Roger Walls frame. My wife surprised me, I'd say about 2 or 3 years ago for anniversary gift, and had this frame shipped to me from Roger Walls. I believe he's in Colorado. I don't know if I have his, there's his little brand on the back. I don't know if I have his contact info, but if you wanted to order one of these things, they're not cheap, but it's a really nice, well made out of cedar. But you could probably find Roger Walls on Facebook. He's on every Arrowhead group out there. Pretty nice guy. But these are all personal finds, everything but that pendant right there. That's a West Texas pendant right there. My good buddy May, old Mayday, gave me that for Christmas last year. We just don't find stuff like that where I dig or hunt. Pretty sure it's made out of a shell, some kind of a shell too, but it's the only drilled artifact I got. One day I'll find me a gorget or a pendant. But start down here with this bird. Probably the best bird I got. It ain't the finest one ever made, but it's the best one I got, and I put it in my A-frame. My best bird points are some Bonhams. That's a little Friley. No, it ain't broke. That's that thing was made crazy like that. We also find a lot of points that they look like hybrids. 2 different types of points in one. That looks like a Perdez, but you see them barbs on there. Pretty sure there was a couple of them on that side too at one point, but that's a Perdez hybrid Steiner type point, in my opinion. I could be dead wrong about that, but found this at bronzing, sifting one day, one of our honey holes. It's a Delhi. Love that thing. I was shocked when I was pulling out. We was pulling out brokes and old crude gearies all day long and pulled that sucker up. I was pretty pumped up that day. My better drills right there, a little paleo drill. There's a scallern in there, some more Steiners. This is my best blade right here, a little Covington. That sucker's thin as a nickel. Translucent too. There ain't much sun out today. See that translucency of that guy. This is one fine Nolan right here. Found that screen digging in Wilco, Williamson County, Texas. It's thin for the wind. Another drill, some more bird points. Pretty sure that's a Steiner right there, and that's a Bonham. Found that on the Brazos River down around College Station, Texas, in Aggie land. My only find of the day that day. Yeah, and that leads us to my best point I ever found. Del Rio, Texas. About this much was sticking up out of the dirt when he dumped it on the table, and I was certain that it was broken when I pulled it out. You can only imagine. Super translucent. I don't know why this camera won't focus here. Y'all forgive my old cruddy backyard. I need to mow. But yeah, that's my best point right there. That is one fine son of a gun. It's got a few stacks on it, but as you can see, it's thin. It's got some length on it too. Never measured it, but it's definitely my best point. But yeah, like I said, this stumbling across this hobby right here changed my life, man. I've got, you know, so many awesome friends that I met digging these arrowheads and traveling across the state of Texas, and I've just met some really good people, and I'm extremely grateful for stumbling across this hobby. Before I found this, I was playing golf all the time. Hell, I ain't played golf. In the last 10 years, I've played golf maybe 5 times. I used to play 2 or 3 times a week. And I stumbled across arrowhead hunting and kind of abandoned the golf game, but I still love golf, and I need to start playing some more. But yeah, that's my 10-year collection, guys. I appreciate y'all watching and subscribing, commenting, liking, and y'all stick with me. We're gonna find some more points.